Hello and welcome to The Inner Knowing. My name is Erin Rogers. I am the host of this podcast. The intention here is to create a space that welcomes you back to yourself, to your inner truth, and provides experiences, conversations, and invitations to go deeper within yourself. Today, as I'm recording, is the Astrological New Year. What does that mean? So, Aries season, roughly March 21st every year. We start out with spring in a new 12-month cycle. And really, if we think about it, it makes so much more sense than starting off a season in the dead of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. So, astrological season, just like spring, the sun is out. It's becoming longer days. The sun is feeding us. We have the energy now to start propelling ourselves forward. And each month through the astrological year offers us a theme to really go within and to move within those 4 weeks of each astrological month to discover something within us. And every year I have been following this to varying degrees. My clients have been following this. I tend to break it down into seasons, months, and then actually every day of the week is also ruled by a planet. And so I wanted to bring that to you today as a possibility to get curious. If you're on my email list, you'll also get an email today about this. But the opportunity is one of curiosity, of self-inquiry, of noticing the trends, the way that the energy is already moving through and for you. And also, the reason I'm so passionate about things like days of the week, there's the astrological energy, is it's all signs and energy and reminder around us that brings us back to ourselves, that says, hey, seasons have rhythms. It's interacting with the world around it. It's intuitively releasing, the leaves, growing the leaves. It's moving with the energy, just like we are invited to move with our own intuitive energy, because we are a part of everything. And I think often we can get really stuck in our heads and think we have to figure it out. But the big trick of life is, can you deepen into your intuition, your self-trust, your own awareness, and not move so deeply from a thinking mind that's working with a limited capacity, but join the overall energy, all this intuition that's already moving around you, just like nature, and using the rhythms of that energy. This is just how I see it. You're welcome to try it on like a sweater and take it off if it doesn't fit for you. So for me, Aries season, it's go time. We feel initiated, excited, activated, and moving forward. And overall, spring has Aries, Taurus, and Gemini energy for us. And what's going to be really cool when we talk about the months is you're going to notice that one month will be really activating and the next month is sort of reflective. That's how I see it, and sort of like forward motion and reflection, forward motion and reflection. And then each month has a theme. And so if you're someone who owns a business, you may also want to plan your project releases around these themes. You may not, but you also may want to do it. It could be a benefit for you. And so we close out an astrological year with Pisces. Pisces is about the subconscious. It's about our intuition. It is a water sign that is inviting us to connect in with our emotions. How did the last 12 months feel? What's been sitting in my subconscious that's ready to arise and perhaps be released, recognized, or cared for? What is my intuition telling me about what's to come, what's here for me, all those pieces. And so I find that I can struggle with slowing down. I can feel the anticipation of that Aries energy of that new season. And so every year I have to really consciously be like, it's okay. We don't have to do it the most in February, in the beginning of March. We have to really just prepare, get ready, activate ourselves through introspection so then we can go out in the world. And the way we might compare this to nature is winter time is when soil is resting and regenerating, right? And we need to have that really healthy soil to grow from. So winter for us as a human is that reflection rest time, so that when we are asked to be activated in Aries season, we have the energy to do it. We can blow out and start growing, start pushing past the dirt all the way to rise to the surface and begin to grow above the surface. And we love that nature is such a great teacher. So Aries season is here. What do you want to do in Aries season? Personally, I think you want to set some goals. You want to get excited. And I have a real specific way in which I think about goals now. As someone who's been historically very goal oriented, very in my head, we are recovering liver of the mind, and we are now a liver from intuition. Probably the word liver is going to be confusing. I used to live solely in my head. That wasn't working. That made me sick. Now I live my intuition and my mind is on board, but it's no longer the one that is leading the pack. It is the COO and my intuition is the CEO, is how I see it. And so I could sit here and be like, I'm going to think about it and figure it out. But ideally, what I want to invite you into is the practice of receiving. So to receive is to believe that the energy already exists. It's already happened. There's a part of you that already knows that what you're desiring to create exists. So you could figure it out, journal and like think, or you get yourself into a receptive state. I will have a link for some meditations that are free on Insight Timer to get you into that state if it feels good. And opening up your awareness and starting to let possibility flow through. Whether it is a promotion with your job, is expanding your business, it's meeting a partner, like whatever it is, you could have that mental goal in mind, or you could say, what is the next best step for me in the next 12 months? What would feel really good to create? Where am I currently and where do I desire to be? What do I really want? And what am I being really mental about, where if I could just release and let go and receive, can begin to be created in my life. And so I'll have a series of questions for you that you could decide to ask yourself if that's what you'd like to do. But something along those lines of like, how am I feeling? What am I desiring to create? What's the next best step? And setting some intentions around what could be created over the next 12 months. And I think it's so interesting. I was reading this the other day about how, we often are recommended to manifest on how we want to feel versus the specific outcome, right? We can get a bit fixated. But what I thought was interesting when I reflected on myself is the reason that I'm ever even really instigated into the word manifestation is because what I'm feeling now is what I do not desire. And so what's interesting about that is to be like, to then be like, I don't want to feel this way, right? I don't want to feel frustrated. I don't want to feel unsatisfied. I don't want to feel like I don't have any power, whatever the feeling is today. And then you try to think, how can I solve this? What's the thing? What's the solution? And sometimes we can be resistant to be like, we're trying to get away from this feeling. So actually we probably should have a set of feelings we're desiring to move towards. So when you're creating your intentions, maybe note down how you're feeling today and how you desire to feel in the future. Some things that could be cool to create. Sometimes I like doing like, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be cool if I had a $500,000 business? Wouldn't it be cool if I was impacting this many people? Wouldn't it be cool if? And sort of just to play with it and sort of see what flows through. And eventually my intuition sort of kicks up a gear and I start to receive more and more. But having that playful, non-attached energy to see what feels really good, noticing the feelings, noticing if I say something in my mind is like, yeah, that's a really good idea. And starts to really like get attached. And so Aries season has that activation, that moving forward. So start with setting the intention. How do you want to feel the next 12 months? What would be really cool to create? What can I use in this next 4-week cycle of Aries to really move myself forward? So maybe it is talking about your offerings, releasing a program, making some plans, like activate it in the motion of what you're wanting to create. And then within that Aries season, that 4 weeks, you could even break down it to like, okay, I've got 4 weeks to use this energy. So what do I want to reflect, activate, shift, and then also say like, that was so cool. What's coming next? Because I think for all of us, the cool thing about when we appreciate rhythm, and timing is it gives us a little bit of a structure to be like, oh, I don't actually have forever. Timing is always perfect. But within the walls of this 4 weeks, what do I want to create? And then we start to kind of have a chance to create within each astrological month. Aries is really activation, where Taurus, maybe you want to focus more on like money and some foundations. And do you feel grounded in the plans that you made in Aries season? Versus Gemini, you're going to want to think about like, am I sharing my plans? Do I feel activated in my voice? Is there anywhere that I'm hesitant to share now that I've activated my plans? I've created a solid structure. And now I want to go and share it with the world in a bigger and bigger way. Now that I've sort of got everything in motion, right? That's spring right there. Is those 3 pieces, which is very foundational to activate you for the next 9 months, which is super cool. And when you break it down, then you can start to plan for these cycles as well. So we're in Aries season. It's the beginning of the astrological new year. Setting intentions is so beautiful. Having just ended your reflection season into activation. Now you may also want to talk about what do you want to do with your body, right? Aries ruled by Mars, very body oriented. So I'm not about like do the most, but like would it feel good in this Aries energy to start stretching more? Would it feel good to do pigeon pose before bed? Does your Aries energy want you to walk more? Try a new class. What can you physically do with your physical being with the using the energy of Mars to start activating yourself into motion in a way that feels good for you? Because if you're here, you're an energetic being who is tapped into the fact that they're intuitive at some level. Either you're at the possibility stage of like, maybe I could be, to like full blown, I'm running a full intuitive business. And I really love hearing these reminders because sometimes we just need someone else to reflect back to us our truth. There's a whole spectrum in there. But no matter what, you're energetic. And without motion, sometimes energy can get stuck or stagnant in our bodies. And that never feels good. And as an intuitive person, you're going to want to have some free-flowing energy so it's easier to receive messages. And so Aries season, those are the pieces that you can take advantage of, make the most of it. I love when I see a timestamp at 12/2/22. 22. 1/2/2/2. So take advantage of those pieces while the energy is here. Make the most of it. Make it work for you. Get it in motion. And so what we're going to do over the next 12 months is we're going to check in every month, talk about the energy, talk about what you might want to harness or create for yourself, talk about the season, and just start to take the chance to create some sort of timestamp, some like pauses and reflections so you can truly embrace and not just feel like time's passing without getting anywhere. And so let's talk about it. We can talk about this more in a future episode. But on top of that, obviously each astrological month is ruled by a planet. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't, but it is. And then we have moon cycles, which gives structure to our 4-week cycles of, death, rebirth, transformation, activation. And then did you know that every day of the week is also ruled by a planet? Why do you care about this? It could be nice to take the energy that's already happening on those days and put some structure into your own system about how you're organizing your week. So quick delve into this. And if you want to hear more about this, leave a comment and I will not exaggerate, elaborate, and I'll exaggerate the planets. I could do that. No, so Monday, and sometimes it's helpful if you speak another language. So you'll see this reflected in French and Spanish more obviously, but Monday is Moon Day, Tuesday is Mars Day, Wednesday is Mercury, Thursday is Jupiter, Friday is Venus, Saturday is Saturn, and Sunday is the Sun. And each of those planets holds a specific type of energy that can be really supportive for us. So if Monday is ruled by the moon, Mondays are really actually great to like ease your way in. I know we're all like, she works hard for the money and she wants to get to work, but actually you probably want to ease in, tap into your intuition and do some visioning of how do I want my week to go? How do I want this to play out? What do I foresee for myself that would feel really good? Intuitively, what am I being shown? How do I feel emotionally? This is the kind of day that you want to spend maybe even in water, in reflection, and really start to sort of set up your week. Versus Tuesday, ruled by Mars, get to it. Take everything that you created on that Monday. Tuesday is the day to like do the action plan. get through those emails, make those sales calls and negotiations where you got to be like on it. You got to have that energy. Maybe it's like cold call day, right? Because you're like, I got to really get that momentum going before I can make those calls. So great day for workout classes and HIIT classes. If you're a woman, you have a cycle, whole or separate conversation. You can tell that I like a rhythm. Wednesday is Mercury day. I try to often run classes on Wednesdays myself because it's Mercury, communication, day to craft those emails, get on social media, batch, record your content. You could really use a Mercury day if that felt good to get all your communication in one spot. Thursday, Jupiter, expansion, optimism. These are the days you want to have client meetings, talk about renewals. You might want to have this be like a visioning day, the day that you step back. Maybe your CEO day is on a Thursday. Thinking about the themes of that would support you in what you're trying to accomplish in your work life, your career, your family, whatever else it might be. That's some energy. Now, Friday, I always laugh because I always think, maybe I'm not really affected by it. And you will see me post the most often on Friday because Friday is Venus Day. You just feel good. We feel good on a Friday. It's a day to get sexy and sensual with yourself. It's a day to dress up and adorn yourself. It's a day to connect with others in a loving way, to eat beautiful food, feel nourished, and really fill up your cup. But from that, like, I'm laying on my lounger, dropping grapes in my mouth, kind of like, I am here to be adored. So set up your work day in a way that feels really good, to do things that are loving and kind and connected. And now I got to tell you, on Saturday, when I found out what Saturday was all about, it threw me for a loop. Because Saturday is ruled by Saturn. So actually, Saturn is really like the get shit done day. This is when you might want to like start to consider that maybe you want to get up on Saturday and like clean the house, get everything done so the rest of your weekend can be enjoyed. Saturn is the taskmaster. It's going to want you to get yourself organized. So maybe if you tend to have a leisurely Friday, maybe Saturday does feel like a good day to be more structured and oriented and get things done. Wear black. Each day of the week is also ruled by a color, but that's another conversation. And then Sunday is like, let me rest. Let me bask in the sun. Let me have the most fun. Let me feel totally recharged, just like how the sun is recharging us, recharging, plants, all those things. Like, that's what Sunday is for. Try to do the least in some ways on Sunday. Try to get it all done on Saturday, Saturn day. Sunday can be your day of rest. And so the way that my brain works is I see it as the astrological year, seasons, months, moon cycles, days of the week. This is just how my brain organizes it, how I talk about it. And again, all of this says there's already a rhythm, and then you have a rhythm. And if you start to live in the rhythm of what's happening around you, it's easier to attach into your own personal rhythm where you're receiving intuition. And so I want to invite you to try this on. See if you want to structure the next 12 months in this way. I'll be talking about it more here in my newsletter, on the podcast, on Instagram. And all of it, though, is an invitation back to you, back to your truth, back to your inner knowing, back to your ability to move with your intuition, because it's already happening. We're just clearing the space so that you can fully hear and receive it. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM on Instagram. You can send me an email. I would love to elaborate. I would love to be in response. And we will be back very soon to talk about this more. If you're ready for an individual session where you want to get activated, given a program, and move, sessions are always open. You can apply for mentorship if you like that more intimate, close, consistent connection over a 3 to 6 month period. And then, because I love to make you things, there are workbooks that are about your individual intuition type. If you want to delve in and have an access a resource that isn't a very high ticket, it's very affordable, as well as in a 30-day program of Intuition Unleashed. So you can kind of go through those 4 options. If one of those is a yes in your body, I would love to support you in those ways. Just a friendly reminder, you are intuitive. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I will see you very soon.